Okay, guys, very welcome back to the show. And I've got a very special guest on the show today, a man that you won't recognize unless you look over his shoulder. Mr. Craig Dowsett from Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. How are you doing today, man?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Look, I'd imagine that things have been pretty whirlwind for you over the last, I suppose, year since this movie has dropped and all the hype behind it with the when people found out about the original concept is what I mean, up until now and the release. How's things been for you?
Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. Yeah, since the first images went viral back in May, I think last year. Yeah, it's just been just constant, flat out whirlwind of media attention and articles, publicity. It's been really good, really, really good fun. So enjoying the ride so far.
Yeah. And if we talk about you for a second, how did you decide to get into acting?
Yeah, so it was about 3 years ago. See, I've originally got a martial arts background, and I wanted to get into doing action scenes, fight scenes for film and TV. Um, so I started sort of reaching out, branching out, trying to get involved in bits and pieces like that. And then I come across a casting call for the Area 51 incident, which is over my that shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. For extras. So my friend said to me, get some screen time under your belt, get some experience, and sort of go from there, see where that takes you. So I was a supporting artist on that film, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And then I kept in contact with the production company, Jagged Edge Productions, and I said to them, have you got anything else coming up that you need anyone for that I could be a part in, get involved in? And they said, actually, we've got this film coming up called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So I was like, what? I was like, okay,
Yeah.
what's that about then? So they gave me a brief explanation, and I thought, you know what, this is going to be really good fun. So I said, yeah, okay, I'll send us a script and I'll have a read through. And they were saying, my build, my size would fit Pooh's character that they wanted. That's how they wanted it portrayed, big, foreboding.
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, yeah, you know what, let's do it. I mean, it's going to be great fun.
Was it the stunt work element that initially brought you towards the movies then?
Yeah, originally, yeah, yeah, but then acting in a mask is a totally different sort of kind of acting, and I thought, you know what, I'd really like to give that a go, because it's just, for an actor, you have to express your emotions through body movements in a costume and a
Yeah.
mask. You can't use your facial expressions because you can't see your face. So I was just trying to learn all the sort of different aspects about it all. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed dressing up in the costume, playing that sort of menacing character.
Yeah, it reminds me kind of what David Howard Taunton, I was talking to him about Art the Clown and Terrifier. Did you get any kind of creative freedoms on your end to kind of move the way you wanted or anything like that? Or was it all kind of scripted?
Yeah, most of it was scripted. I took some inspiration myself from like Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees sort of style, um, and just trying to like combine the two sort of thing, and being, because the challenging bit was, how do you make Winnie the Pooh scary? Because
Yeah.
he's a bit goofy, he's a bit you know. But yeah, that was the main challenge. Like, how do you make him sort of scary? And to do that, you just need to make him move menacingly, look menacingly, and go from there. So yeah, most of it was scripted, but I took inspiration from some other franchises.
Yeah, when I was looking at the budget, it kind of reminded me of how well Terrifier done last year, and you guys were under a budget of 100,000. And I think
Yeah,
when I checked earlier, it says the movie has grossed 4.2 million. Like that's absolutely bonkers figures, isn't it?
it's amazing. Yeah, it's been doing really really well. Yeah, for a low budget indie film, we couldn't be happier. It's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it might be a new kind of an exciting time for independent movies, like I touched on with Terrifier and stuff like that. And you guys went viral with yours as well. Like, so it's kind of it's an exciting time, I guess, to be in the horror industry. But when you look at the horror industry, and I talk to people maybe from the 80s, they never got out of that industry. Is that something
Yeah.
that you don't want to be stuck in? Do you want to kind of broaden your horizons and be open to doing different kind of work as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, as an actor, you want to broaden your horizons and do different genres, different types of styles and films. So yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love doing the masked, menacing characters, but yeah, I will explore other avenues and do some other bits and pieces along the way, hopefully.
Just want to know what the kind of reaction has been like from your friends and family that have seen you in this movie, and obviously the success of it. What's the reaction been like at home with friends and that?
Yeah, it's been really, really cool reaction. I mean, I had to keep it under wraps for a long, long time. Um, Even when the first images came out, I still kept it under wraps until the point where, in the articles, it was my name, playing Winnie the Pooh. And then they were like, wow, really? It's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And they couldn't believe it at first. I mean, nor could I. I was like, yeah, I can't believe I'm actually portraying such an iconic character. But they've been really supportive and happy for me, and it's been really good reaction.
And what premieres have you been to so far?
Yeah, so I started off in Mexico City for the world premiere. That was amazing. There's so many
I've got
fans
I've got
there.
I've got one question on that. Why Mexico City? That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I don't know. That was down to the distribution company. Whatever deals they made for it starting off there, that's where they wanted the world premiere. Because Mexico's got a huge horror base anyway,
Yeah.
and they were like really, really excited and just itching to see it. So yeah, we started off there. That was in January, um, and then from there I went to LA for the US screening. There was a European premiere in Amsterdam. That was the day before the LA screening, so obviously I couldn't be in two places at the same time. So I was in LA. And then about 2 weeks ago, we had the UK premiere at Glasgow Film Festival. So that was really, really cool. And then Sunday night, it was at my local hometown cinema. So I did a little special screening there with my friends and family. So that was really fantastic.
Yeah, that must have been probably of all. I know you're in Mexico and LA and stuff like that, but how did it feel to have it then in your hometown with your friends and family? Is that
Yeah,
your favorite one?
yeah, it was really special. Yeah, to have my friends and family there watching it for the first time. It was great. They were really happy for me. And what a way to sort of end the tour back in my hometown. So yeah, very special moment for me.
Yeah, when I'll bring up Terrifier again, and there was the prequel to Terrifier. I can't remember what it was called, but Art the Clown was in it. Then there was Terrifier 1 and 2, and then obviously as the budget went up, these movies got better along in time as they do. Do you feel like there's a market for you guys to expand on this franchise in the future?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's a sequel that's going to be in place with a much bigger budget, which allows us to then explore, a lot more avenues, go bigger, bolder, better. So yeah, there's some exciting times ahead for the franchise, definitely.
Excellent, excellent news. Can you talk to me about the location of the woods and where it was and just the film? And I read online, you don't know what's true and what's not, that it was done in 10 days. Is that right?
Yeah, so we filmed in Ashford in Kent, right where the inspiration for 100 Acre Woods was originally.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main shoot was 10 days. Um, but then, like I say, as soon as the first images went viral and the world just went nuts for it, we were like, right, okay, let's go back, do some extra scenes, some pickup shots, just try and ramp it up a bit more. So we've done about another 4 days. So yeah, about total about 14 days.
Excellent, excellent. And we'll go back to yourself again. Have you got any projects that you're working on at the moment or anything for the plan for the rest of the year?
Apart from the sequel, I've got one other project that's coming up, which unfortunately I can't talk about because
Yep.
that's under wraps. But other than that, I'm just taking a little break after all these premieres and flying around the world, just having a bit of a breather. And then I've got quite a few horror conventions coming up that I'll be attending. So yeah, I'll be in and out of America, Canada, UK, and just enjoying those.
Have you done many of those conventions yet? It's a lovely little niche in the horror world, isn't it?
Yeah, see, I've only done one last year. That was Stoke-on-Trent, and that was fantastic. Yeah, that was the trailer had only just been released, so not many people kind of knew too much
Yeah.
about the film or myself. But the ones that did, they were really welcoming and kind and friendly, and were excited to see the film. So yeah, it's really really good buzz there.
Yeah, and in terms of the sequel, is that something that's going to be made pretty soon, or do you
Yeah, I
have a kind of a
think
rough timeline?
Yeah, I think Reese, the director, he wants to shoot sort of like end of summertime. So yeah, that's in the works at the moment.
Yeah, Craig, look, absolute pleasure to have you on the show today, man. Thanks, and I hope I didn't bore you to death. And sorry about the technical issues.
No, that's cool. Thanks for having me on the show. No, it's been great.
No problem. If anyone wants to follow Craig, I'll leave you social media details down below. And thanks very much, man. Best of luck with everything in the sequel. We'll hopefully talk again next year.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. Take care.
Cheers, Matt.
Cheers.